Everyone notices facial and body animations in video games, from the most natural movements like walking and running to simply emoting during key scenes. It's crazy how far the industry has come. Of course, when playing a first-person title where you spend most of the time seeing hands, the attention given animations is simply astonishing. Let's take a look at 15 of the best hand animations in video games. Rainbow Six Siege. Ubisoft's tactical first-person shooter may have had a rough launch, but its hand animations were fairly good and have only improved. Watching operators set up barricades, manage different weapons, and bash through obstacles is still enthralling after all of these years. The animations behind abilities have become more imaginative as well. Just watch Ayanna activate her Gemini replicator, which manifests a holographic version of herself to control, or Oryx, who bursts through walls without a care. Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov takes a lot of its mechanics seriously, including health recovery. Syringes are realistically inserted and bandages wrapped around wounds when using the IFAK personal tactical first aid unit. However, use a car first aid and your character will unzip the pack and even take some tablets from it along with the syringe and wrapping. Then there's a CMS kit used for surgery in which your character will actually remove and use surgical tools from. Red Dead Redemption 2. When it comes to animations, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a goldmine, whether it's in third or first person. Aim down sights with a Schofield revolver and Arthur will cock the hammer with each shot. Reloading will see him place each individual bullet into a chamber. Don't even get us started on skinning hides in first person. Just know that they are incredibly realistic. Firewatch. Henry isn't your typical video game hero. He's a park ranger, so actions like holding a walkie-talkie in one hand, climbing up surfaces, or even something as simple as picking up his backpack before heading out are meant to be more natural. Of course, he's only human, so flailing his arms in horror before taking a nasty fall are about right as well. It's funny to see him confiscate the boombox and casually toss it on his desk though. Alien Isolation. Amanda Ripley has it tough, trying to survive against xenomorphs in the claustrophobic Sevastopol station. You're going to get used to seeing her pull the motion tracker and running around often. Also dying. Lots of dying. Watching her hands react in abject horror when impaled or raised up when suddenly discovered in a locker adds that much more to the horrifying atmosphere. Mirror's Edge. It's crazy to think that Mirror's Edge launched in 2008. The first-person platformer was ahead of its time, especially when it came to the animation. Faith's hands react dynamically to each situation, grasping each surface while climbing, balancing her weight while walking across pipes, and much more. This extends to her takedowns as well, as she pulled, punched, and waylaid anyone unfortunate enough to get in her way. VALORANT. VALORANT has a host of interesting animations in first person. Take Jet for example. When dashing or floating up, she makes a swimming motion, as if using the air to propel herself forward or upwards. On utilizing her ultimate Blade Storm, Jet will line up several knives in front of her, flinging them forward as if actually holding them. OVERWATCH. Overwatch has been praised for the various ways it conveys character in first person. Sombra is an incredible example, as she can be seen actually manipulating her fingers when hacking someone. She flings her translocator, whether it's on the ground or in the air, and will stretch her arms open when using her EMP, which seems indicative of a massive force unleashed. Perhaps the coolest of all is when she goes into stealth, her hand motioning past her face like Motoko from Ghost in the Shell. Dying Light. Much like Mirror's Edge, Dying Light does a lot with protagonist Kyle's hands to convey the weight of his actions. He'll hold them out to reach for the nearest structure when jumping and rear back when striking powerful blows. When throwing infected aside, he'll reach for the wrist and the back of the head, ensuring maximum momentum without any danger of getting bit. Dishonored 2. The first game was already pretty great when it came to animating assassinations, and Dishonored 2 continues that tradition. Emily Caldwin arguably comes across as more brutal, grabbing enemy heads and smashing them into the ground along with slicing throats and limbs. Seeing her shadow walk is also particularly impressive as she scampers across the floor and drags her victims close. Of course, Corvo has some great animations as well, like sliding the blade around a target's throat from behind and pulling it until their head comes off. ADRIFT. Adrift captures that feeling of, well, drifting through space, whether it's of one's own volition or against it. Your hands are your point of contact with the environments, and they naturally swim through zero-gravity environments and inch towards O2 bottles. It's nothing super over the top, but serves its purpose in immersing the player. Tacoma. By comparison, Tacoma is a lot more imaginative and in-depth with its hand animations. The various AR interfaces have their own design language, which protagonist Amy reacts to naturally. She uses sign language for typing her name and will place her AR device like a book to access different records. Despite how minimalist the crew looks, their hand animations are also on point as they go about cooking, gesturing, and surviving. Resident Evil 7. Capcom's latest mainline Resident Evil is a huge departure from previous games, taking place entirely in the first-person perspective. However, it pulled this off amazingly well, naturally transporting you into the shoes of Ethan Winters. The opening segment where he struggles against Maya is incredible, especially when trying to remove the screwdriver from his hand. Little touches like actually pouring first aid liquid over his injured hands, if still video gamey in nature. Thief 2014. Looking back on Thief 2014, the amount of detail for Garrett's hands in different situations is cool. Very cool. Everything from picking a lock, where his index fingers and thumbs hold the tools in place, to carefully admiring precious jewelry before stowing it away looks great. Even the reactions to environmental phenomena like collapsing debris or unstable flooring are spot on. Killing Floor 2. Despite its age, Killing Floor 2 still possesses some great hand animation work. Watch your character reload a shotgun one shell at a time, or adjust the sights on a rocket launcher while idle. Check out how two revolvers are stylishly twirled back and forth while idle. Such is the attention to detail that certain weapons like LMGs have multiple reload animations depending on how many bullets are left and whether tactical reload is used.
And that wraps it up. If you like what we are doing, please consider subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon. That way you will never miss out on any of our videos.